Once upon a time, a young maiden lived with her cruel stepmother in a cottage deep in the forest.
You lazy girl! You must complete 3 impossible tasks, or never return!
The stepmother demanded the maiden gather a sack of feathers from a single bird, drain a pond with a thimble, and pick berries from thornless bushes. The maiden wept, for the tasks were impossible for any mortal. But kindness is never forgotten, and magic favors the pure of heart. By the way, in old European folklore, magical helpers often appear to those who...
Do not cry, dear child. I remember the bread you shared with me last winter. I will help you with these tasks.
The old woman possessed ancient magic, passed down through generations. With a wave of her staff, the pond drained completely, as if the thimble had done its work 1,000 times. The first impossible task was complete! The second task seemed even more impossible, gathering berries from thornless bushes that did not exist.
Interestingly, in medieval times, thornless berry varieties were considered magical gifts, as brambles were symbols of hardship and sin.
Thank you, dear friend. Your kindness has saved me.
The final task remained: to gather a sack of feathers from a single bird.
The birds remember you fed them last harsh winter. Watch what kindness brings.
Each bird freely gave its molt feathers, a gift from a single flock that lived as one. All 3 impossible tasks were complete, accomplished through kindness returned.
But the cruel stepmother's heart held no joy, only bitter envy. So you completed the tasks. But you'll never be free. I have one final demand. You must build a castle of crystal and gold by sunrise, or I will curse you forever.
The maiden fled into the dark forest, knowing this task was truly impossible even for magic. She wept until she had no tears left, believing all hope was lost. But true friends never abandon those in need.
Dry your tears, dear child. This stepmother has demanded her last cruel task. Tonight you shall have your castle.
The old woman called upon ancient powers, magic older than the forest itself. The castle rose from the earth like a dream, taking form.
By dawn, a castle more beautiful than any king had ever owned stood complete in the forest clearing. But the old woman had one final gift to give.
This castle is yours, but guard the key well. Never give it to anyone until your true love proves himself worthy.
I can never repay your kindness, dear friend. You have given me hope when all seemed lost. The magical helper vanished like morning mist, her purpose fulfilled.
The maiden kept the key safe and lived peacefully in her castle, but loneliness filled the empty halls.
Meanwhile, in a nearby kingdom, a young African-American prince had heard rumors of a mysterious crystal castle appearing overnight in the forest.
Father, I must see this magical castle. They say it appeared in one night, made entirely of crystal and gold.
The prince set out at dawn, his curious heart drawn to the mystery. Never had the prince seen such beauty. Walls of pure crystal, towers of gold. The prince knocked upon the golden gates. his heart beating strangely fast. Their eyes met, and in that moment, both felt something magical beyond any spell.
Forgive my intrusion, my lady. I am Prince Edward. I had to see if the stories of this magical castle were true.
The castle was a gift from a kind, magical friend who saved me from my cruel stepmother's impossible tasks.
Days turned to weeks as the prince visited daily, and friendship blossomed into deepest love.
My dearest, will you marry me? Together we shall rule with kindness, as you have shown me true goodness.
Yes. Oh yes, my love. I have never known such happiness.
But their happiness was witnessed by jealous eyes hidden in the forest.
The evil stepmother had followed the prince to the castle and discovered her stepdaughter's good fortune.
That ungrateful girl shall not have happiness while my daughter remains unmarried. I will steal her place.
The stepmother brewed a potion of forgetting, a dark spell to steal memory and identity.
That evening, the maiden prepared for her wedding day, unaware of danger approaching.
By the way, in folklore, villains often disguise themselves as helpless beggars to exploit the kindness of their victims.
Please, come in, good woman. Let me fetch you some water and bread.
Forget! Forget everything! This castle, your prince, yourself!
The forgetting curse took hold, stealing her memories like mist steals the morning.
Meanwhile, the true maiden wandered the forest with no memory, drawn only by a faint warmth from the key around her neck.
Cursed magic! No matter served, without her memory, she'll wander away and my daughter will take her place.
Interestingly, in fairy tales, enchanted objects often retain loyalty to their true owners, acting as guides when all seems lost.
The stepmother placed her own daughter in the castle, preparing to deceive the prince.
Don't worry, Mother. I shall pretend to be that foolish girl and marry the prince. He'll never know the difference.
The prince arrived at sunset, bearing roses for his bride-to-be, his heart full of joy.
My lady? You seemed different. Are you well?
Come with me, lass. My wife will help clean you up and we'll sort this mystery. That's a mighty fine key you're wearing. It must mean something.
Oh, my dear prince. I am simply tired from wedding preparations. Come, let us discuss our ceremony.
The prince's heart told him something was terribly wrong, but he could not understand what.
Where is the gentle soul I fell in love with? Where is the kindness in her eyes? This feels like a stranger wearing her face.
The false wedding day arrived. The castle filled with guests who did not know they witnessed a great deception.
The prince prepared to marry, but his heart felt heavy as stone, knowing something essential was terribly wrong.
Interestingly, in fairy tales, enchanted objects often retain loyalty to their true owners, acting as guides when all seems lost.
This key. Why does it feel important? Why does my heart ache when I touch it?
A kind woodcutter discovered the lost maiden and took pity on her state. Poor lass, what happened to you?
Can you tell me your name?
I don't know. I can't remember anything. Who am I? Why am I here?
Come with me, lass. My wife will help clean you up and we'll sort this mystery. That's a mighty fine key you're wearing, Al. It must mean something.
The woodcutter and his wife took the maiden in, caring for her though she remained lost in forgotten darkness.
You. Yes. Those are the eyes I fell in love with. That is the voice of my true bride.
The key knew what the maiden's mind had forgotten. It sensed its castle and its rightful. The false wedding day arrived. The castle filled with guests who did not know they witnessed a great deception.
The prince prepared to marry, but his heart felt heavy as stone, knowing something essential was terribly wrong.
He could not explain why he felt he was betraying his own heart by proceeding with this marriage.
Guests took their seats, unaware that the bride was a cruel impostor, and the true bride wandered lost in the forest.
The key! It's pulling me! Something is calling me! I must go!
The key pulled the maiden through the forest, like a star pulls a sailor home, magic guiding forgotten love.
As the false bride walked down the aisle, the prince felt his heart breaking with each step.
Forgive me, my unknown true love, wherever you are.
Stop! This wedding is false! I am the true bride!
You? Yes. Those are the eyes I fell in love with. That is the voice of my true bride.
The deception crumbled like sand before truth's mighty wave.
I remember everything. The castle, the old woman's warning, the key, and you, my beloved.
The villains were caught and would face justice for their cruel deception.
Will you still marry me, my true love? Here, now, in your bare feet and...
Yes. 1,000 times yes. I would marry you in rags, in riches, in any circumstance for you.
And so the true wedding ceremony began, with all present knowing and they witnessed love's genuine triumph over darkness.
I promise to protect your heart, honor your kindness, and love you through all days until my last breath.
I promise to stand beside you in joy and sorrow, to bring kindness to our kingdom, and to...
Interestingly, in medieval wedding traditions, joining hands symbolized the union of two souls, here made literal by magic.
By the power vested in me and witnessed by magic itself, I pronounce you husband and wife.
As their lips met in true love's first married kiss, the key released all.
The magic blessed everyone present, filling all hearts with hope and joy.
The true bride and her prince walked into their new life together.
A grand celebration feast followed, with the entire kingdom invited to rejoice in the victory of true love. The bride gave special honor to the kind woodcutter and his wife, who had sheltered her when she was lost.
True kindness always remembers and repays those who showed mercy in dark times. As the sun set on their wedding day, the true bride and her prince stood together, knowing their love had conquered all obstacles. This key protected me, guided me, and brought me home. Now I understand the old woman's wisdom. You proved yourself worthy the moment you saw beyond my torn dress and muddy feet to recognize my true heart.
The magical helper returned one final time to see her work complete.
Dear friend, thank you. Thank you for everything.
The old woman blessed them one final time, her mission complete.
She vanished into the twilight, returning to the realm of magic, knowing true love had triumphed as it always must.
And so the true bride lived happily in her crystal castle with her devoted prince.
The castle became known throughout the land as a place of kindness, where the poor were fed and children were welcomed.
Under their rule, the kingdom flourished, for leaders who have known hardship govern with compassion.
I could imprison you for your cruelty, but instead I offer mercy. You will work in the castle kitchens, earning your bread honestly. Sometimes the greatest punishment for a cruel heart is being shown the very kindness it refused to give.
Through honest work and the example of kindness around them, the stepmother and her daughter slowly began to change.
The magical key was preserved as a reminder. True love cannot be forced or fake.
Mama, will I have a magical key someday too?
You don't need a magical key, my darling. The real key is here, in your heart, kindness, courage, and...
Years later, the true bride told the story to her grandchildren, ensuring the lessons lived on.
By the way, fairy tales were traditionally passed down orally for centuries before being written, preserving wisdom through entertainment.
The Crystal Castle stood for many generations, a testament to true love's power.
For true love, like this magical rose, blooms eternal in a heart.
And they all lived happily, ever after.